Hi, this is Muki Moeng. You are watching On the Couch Conversations with Muki. Today I am in conversation with Thumeka Jack. I'm so excited for you to be here on my couch. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's great to be here.
Great. I'm so glad that you are here. Now, Thumeka, for someone who doesn't know you, who would you say is Thumeka? Where do you call home? Where are you from?
Okay, so Thumeka is a 38-year-old young entrepreneur. I was born in Paarl, and then I grew up in Gafu, but I call Gravrenet my home. I'm a mother of 3 young teenagers, and yeah, that's me.
That's who you are.
That's who I am.
Right.
Yes.
Now, Thumeka, born in Paarl, at what age did you move to Gravrenet?
Actually, at the age of 4, I moved to Egafu, and then at the age of 6, I went to go stay with my dad's family.
Okay, I see.
So I've been a Gravrenetter all my life.
All your life, and I can still hear that Afrikaans accent. So growing up in Gravrenet, what would you say are the values that really molded you?
Okay, since Gravrenet is a very small town, we learn from a whole lot of people surrounding Egafu, and being from a strict family, I mean, there's my grandfather who was as strict as anything.
Yes.
So you couldn't get away with nothing. So learning from people around, my family within, and it molded me to the fact that I am the person that I am today because of their teachings, them like teaching us a whole lot of things. Respect elders and do as, you know, other people do and everything. And just know that being a child, if your dad is a teacher, it doesn't make you a teacher. You need to be your own person. My grandmother was big on that. So, like I said, being from a small town, it is the best. I think for me, has been the best out of everything. It molded me to be the person that I am, you know, learning from everyone around.
So both of us are from Gravrenet. What would you say when you look back, you know, to Gravrenet? I'm a dean of a faculty at a university. You are in the US. We're going to talk about that now.
Yes.
We're not going to talk now. But what would be the things? Because when people see Gravrenet, especially if they look at the township, they see poverty, and it's there. And what would you say is something that really pulled you out of that environment?
I've been through a lot, you know, and personally. And I knew I didn't want to be like stuck. So as wild as I am, you know, I had a child at a very young age. So getting out of Gravrenet and going to a bigger city, which is George, I've seen a lot. So me getting out of there, it was like, you know, certain things are happening out there. You know, you can be whatever you want to be. So that alone, it made me like kind of get out of my shell a little and like kind of explore a lot as I'm a bubbly person, and I ask a lot of things, so I want to try a lot of things. So going out there and being in the world, it's, you know, it's just kind of that.
And you say that when you grew up, you know, you went through a lot.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Most people probably wouldn't know this. I'm a victim of rape. So that, you know, it holds a heavy thing in me. So I grew up in a very loving family, get me wrong, or anything like that. But, you know, certain things that were happening while I was young and everything, it also made me not want to stick around a lot. Or even if I come back and then I just pop in and then I go out. So that, you know, I think, and also that is like the one thing that is very heavy on me. That's why I think I do so much. I'm so loud with everything, you know. My laugh is very loud, everything, because I wouldn't want anyone to go through what I went through. So I try to make it easy for a lot of people, but, you know. But.
Wow, that's really deep, and it's really sad. And I'm not going to the next question because what you've told me is not important. And I'm sure a lot of people who are watching now would say, so then you go in and you go out of Graaff-Reinet. And being a victim of rape, and tell me if you're not comfortable.
No, everything.
You know, what would you then advise, you know, the next person? Because there's a lot of people who've gone through the same thing.
Speaking up. I think my biggest mistake was not to speak up. I spoke up or spoke about it, talked about it when I was going through now the depression and everything, and then it had to pull me back because my psychiatrist was like, you know, talking about it will make it feel better. To another person, I will say, you know, if something is happening to you, it doesn't matter who it is, who's doing it to you. Say something. I want someone to say something.
Say something and find that person whom you can trust,
Yes.
so that you can tell them. All right, that's heavy. Now, Thumeka, your life did not end with that, you know, event of the rape. You told yourself that you're going to be better. Let's talk about your schooling now.
Yeah.
So I assume you went to primary school
Yep,
in Graaff-Reinet, Sibane, and then?
I went to Sibane and then I went to Enweba. Graduated Enweba 2001. 2002, I went to East Cape Midlands College. I did not finish because I fell pregnant.
Okay.
And then I left. This when I went to Ed George. And then 2003, I had my son. But yet 2004, I left South Africa. So
Okay.
yeah, I didn't go to college. But when I went to America, when I got there, I went to school. I did different courses because everything there, you have to be certified. You know, like whether you are cleaning a house, whether you are watching, you know, an elderly, you need to be certified. Whether you cut hair, you need to be certified. So I went and then I did more courses. I did home health aid. I did certified nursing assistant, and then I'm a phlebotomist also.
Okay, what is that? Yours about phlebotomist? I don't even know. What is that?
Phlebotomist is a person that draws blood. At the hospital over there, like the different departments, you work at the lab, you know, you deal with people like with semen and blood and, you know, those things. And then I worked as a phlebotomist, but I didn't really like it because the risk behind it, it was a lot. I worked at this outpatient and I had an accident there and I kind of nicked myself with the needle. So I was like, you know what? This is not happening. So I just, you know, I went to do my nursing assistant and then I continued with that. Now I do one-on-one with this 101-year-old guy that I take care of that I love to bits.
That we all know.
That you all know.
Ubev also dances.
Yes.
Now let me take you back to the reason why you chose, because you chose nursing assistant and healthcare. Because you could have chosen anything. You are in America, there's so many possibilities. So the reason?
Okay, so the reasoning behind it, before, like when I got there, I was a waitress. I left South Africa being a waitress. So I work at the country club. I used to work in Fencourt. A guy from there saw me and then he was like, you'll be perfect to work in America. You know, I like the way you're walking. And then I applied. You know,
wow.
And I went, this is 2004 now, and I got there, you know, you get to meet a lot of people. So I met a lot of South African people. So the way of living is not as smooth as most people think. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not. But after I overstayed my visa, I needed to stay there. So one choice was you either become a nanny, or you take care of the elderly, right? So when I did that, I knew I wasn't safe because, you know, when you get caught doing something, you get deported. So I got married the first time there and I got my green card and I stayed legally, not illegally because I was illegal in the beginning.
Yes.
So I stayed there. So I went to school. I was a waitress also at a diner. I was working 5 to 5 and at 7 o'clock I used to go to school. It was easier for me to do the nursing thing because it was the one with most jobs. There's a lot of old people in America. So, you're guaranteed a job, whether you work at the hospital, a nursing home, or doing one-on-one in somebody's home or assistant livings or stuff like that. So it was easier for me. The choice was because it was easier for me to get a job. But while I was at it, I was like, I don't think I like it so much. Because I like waitressing. I like interacting with people. And then I continued, and I stopped working at the nursing home, and then I went to do one-on-one.
One-on-one. And now you're busy with Bev, and we see Bev. You do so many things with Bev. What would be the one thing? I hear you saying, the reason because there were a lot of opportunities. But now that you are in it with this person one-on-one, what would be something that you would say, this is something why I'm doing this?
Okay, the passion behind it. It will be the first thing ever. Not going into it for money. If you really doing it because you want to do it, doing it because you enjoy doing it, it makes it much easier. You know what I mean? So for me, that is the one thing that is like the passion behind it. Doing one-on-one, because you give that person more time, more attention. But when you work in a nursing home or a hospital, you deal with 12 patients at once. You go there. They ask you there. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But one-on-one, my thing.
Great.
Now I'm falling in love with it. I love it. I will do this, even when I do hourly, but I do a live-in with him. I live in Florida, but I work in New York.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So how do you do that?
So I take time. So I do a live-in, I live with him, and then I take time off, and then I fly to Florida.
I see.
And then from there, I fly to South Africa.
Yes, and you are here.
Now I'm here.
I'm so glad for that opportunity. Now let's move on from the healthcare and all of that. When you introduced yourself, you said you are an entrepreneur. Take us through the businesses that you have.
Okay, so I started my business in 2011. With t-shirts and stuff like that. I have Uncle Uvukile Anabe was the one who actually designed my first logo ever, and then we had this conversation on how we're going to do it, what we want to do, because I saw him doing the Grella t-shirts.
The Grella, yes.
So I was like, I'm in America. Let me do something. So I started. That's how we started. The first few attempts failed, like dismally, and went back to the drawing board. We went back to the drawing board, and he had lost his database from these other things, so we redesigned Zansi Made Me. But then I created this company that I named after my kids, and between the company, I have different business ventures in it. Like I have the water, I have the clothing line, which is 2 brands, and then I'm introducing my candles. So it's like,
Yeah, you need to mention what it is. You have Mzansi Made Me.
I have
and what's the reason behind that name? Yeah.
Okay, so I have Mzansi Made Me. Mzansi Made Me, it was me being in America, but born, bred in everything in South Africa. So me being out of South Africa didn't make me whatever, but I remained because South Africa made me who I am today.
Yes.
All the struggles, everything, the fun times, the joy, the everything, that I bring it wherever I go. It's a thumbprint, wherever I go, I am proudly South African.
Like the thumbprint, because now it makes sense why it looks like a thumbprint.
It's a thumbprint, which is, that's your identity basically. So that alone, wherever you are, South Africa, home is,
Yeah.
everything.
And other ventures, including the water?
So in the clothing, I have fit to wear for other people who are not from South Africa. So it was like, Thumeka, we want to support you, but I don't want to be wearing Zansi Made Me. So I created fit to wear, which is comfortable clothing for everyone, which is also Mzansi Made Me is what it is. And then I have the water, and the water, the water business. It was because of the struggle we had about 2 years back in Ekhafu. We didn't have water for a very long time. And then, creating umlanjana was not because I wanted to make money out of it, but it was me trying to have a helping hand within my community, you know, because like the water I also give away. I don't only, you know, sell, but I also, you know, I spread it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a good thing because
Yes.
we prayed for
We
rain.
did.
Remember, we prayed in 2019.
We did, and you know,
Yeah.
like we were on the news while I was even in the States, and then we see the news and everything. It was really bad.
It was.
It was so bad. Even now, it is not better. It is also still bad, but you know.
What we need, yes, hopefully. Now, with your businesses, what would you say are the lessons? I heard you talking about the first time it failed. Yeah. So what lessons have you learned, and what would you advise the next person?
Business is hard. I must say that. Of bad, business is very hard, but if you stay consistent, the one thing that you need to do is the sacrifice that you need to put in. You have to sacrifice. If you can't sacrifice for your business, for it to grow, you won't go anywhere. You have to, sometimes you, out of pocket, do it. If you want your thing to flourish, if you want your business to grow, you know, be as generous as you can be, because that attracts everything else that comes.
Yeah. So, Thumeka, you're talking about your businesses being, you know, 3 ventures, but you come to South Africa, you live in Florida, and you said you have 3 kids. How do you balance all of that?
Okay, so let's start with my kids, right? I was married in Florida, right? So my children live with my husband, my ex-husband.
Ex-husband,
My ex-husband, my first husband.
Your first one, okay. We hear that, we get that.
They live with my
right.
first husband, so when I go to Florida, I get to see them when I go to Florida.
Okay.
But we on the phone constantly, but my oldest child is here. Uyoluka ngo December, which
Oh,
is...
wow.
Yes. So,
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so my
Great.
kids, that's the situation with my kids. And then I see Samkelo when I come to South Africa, but we're on the phone and video calls there and Facebook, which I don't like to be his friend on Facebook, but I am.
Yes. So I'm going to dig a little bit deeper. You're talking about marriage. So you have a first husband.
Yes.
So you do you have a second husband?
I do have a
Yes.
second husband, and my second husband is here in South Africa. But situation there is the situation.
Okay, situation is the situation.
Yes.
All right.
It's just a relationship.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I hear you.
I don't really touch base with that because I am divorcing him.
Okay.
Yes. So we're not talking about him.
Okay, we're not talking about him. So let's move then to your businesses. Yes. Because I was asking you about how you balance that life. What would you say are the things that carry you through? You know, you had your first husband with your kids. Now you had a second husband, you're divorcing. These must really weigh heavy on you.
It is.
What is it that, you know, carries you through?
Okay, so being the person that I am, right? As much as I take a whole lot to heart, I tend to separate a lot of things. I used to work out. I don't work out anymore because I have been depressed for the past 3 months, 4 months. I lost my friend recently, so I haven't been myself in the United States, with somebody who was very close to me. So with that, so I have now a whole lot of downtime. I put a lot of time into my businesses. Now my businesses also include Herbalife. So I also do Herbalife. It's also a business. It's a full business. So even that, you know, so I take a lot of time. I put a lot of time within my business. But now the thing is, I work on South African time even though I'm in America. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, I could be up working with somebody if there's an order, if there's certain things. So my time, I'm really a 24 hours working type of woman, because some days I'll probably get like an hour sleep, 2 hours of sleep. Some days I don't get no sleep at all. But I do manage to take it easy. At Babs, I'm at home. So it doesn't feel like a job. I'm at home. So I can do my personal life while I'm at work.
Yes, yeah.
Because I have a whole lot of downtime.
Thumeka, you spoke about depression, and it's not the first time you mentioned depression, and I don't want us not to talk about that. What would you say triggers that?
It could be a lot of emotion. For me, it differs from for a lot of people.
Yeah.
For me, it's a lot of emotion. Going through separation, should I say, and having to work, being far away from home, and not having to come home. That emotion alone, it drags. Now, I am living a life where I do a lot for other people and not doing much for myself. You know what I mean? So when I get to a point where I don't even have $20 at times, like, you know, now, you know, if I was home, if I was this, you know, it's a lot. And then now you're going to have to go out, talk to someone, can you borrow me $20? Can you, you know, now that, you know, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Being alone far away from home is a lot. Having friends who are not your friends is a lot.
Yeah.
So it is a whole lot. And then when you get to be in your own space, it comes back. Yeah. And when it does, it's...
Yeah, but at least are you seeing someone?
No, I'm not seeing anyone. I'm not seeing anyone.
To deal with the depression?
No, not anymore. With the COVID and everything, we're not allowed to go to places and stuff like that. We're only right now opening up. But even now, in America, there's still the social distancing. There's still a lot of that. And then it's a whole lot of money.
Yeah, okay. Because I was going to ask you
it's
about an online kind of
money.
Therapy.
Even when you're doing virtually and stuff like that, is not as if like sitting with you on a couch. It's very different. I know sometimes speaking to strangers is also nice because it helped me in the beginning to open up about the rape situation, the everything. But it's a lot. Yeah. Right now, I cannot afford to go on no sessions. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
My ticket to come here is $40,000. So I can't.
Wow.
There's no way that, you know, you can dig out like $500 to see a doctor so you can sit on their couch so you can talk about yourself.
So then it brings me to the next question. So what coping mechanisms have you, you know, found for yourself?
I read a lot. I work out. I used to go to the gym, and then when I was at the gym, I was working with, I used to go to sessions, work out with other people, because when I do it myself, you know, sometimes, you know, I get to be lazy.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was one of the things that was like helping me to cope, like the working out. And not Bev, we go out and then probably go to like, there's a place where we usually go by the reservoir. We'll sit there and I'll walk around it a few times while he's sitting there. That alone, I love music. I have these beads that I wear all the time. Probably all of my videos, you see me wearing beads. My music plays so loud that I can hear absolutely nothing over them. Like it's just me and my music, and that's it. Wow. So, and I sleep a lot lately. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm this.
No, but I think you do need to sleep, because you're talking about you working at 1 a.m., you know, with all the time zones that you need to align with.
South Africa is 6 hours behind. And then in October, South Africa will be 7 hours behind. So it's going to be like the hours like kind of differs. And then the person that I work with in Johannesburg, he also has a full-time job but deals with me on the side. So it's just a lot. But now we try to make things easier because we are creating our website for the clothing line and then the water and everything. So and we also try to venture out with the water around our neighboring towns like Middelburg, Cradock and stuff like that. So I get like distributors there. So the only thing that I'm praying that God gives me right now is a transportation, because wow. Yeah. It is a lot without no transportation.
I can imagine, because
so I need a bike.
When you we need the bike. Need the bike. People out there who need a bike. Because when you have to transport the water.
Yes, transporting the water from point A, because they get down here. So I have to transport them to Ikhafu. Now what I do is I ask Ayanda with the taxi, and then I pay for the back seat of the taxi.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot, or the trailer, and it's a lot. I don't want to lie, it is a lot.
I'm thinking of all of these challenges and the struggles, because you know what? I was talking to Bruce earlier on. People see Thumeka now here, glamorous, wearing Mookie set by Queen M style.
Yes.
And they look at Umuki and they don't understand the life before the glam. And most of the time in social media, that's what we see. We see the glamorous Mookie, the glamorous Thumeka. And now that's why I want you to talk about the struggles so that people understand. But also, I really appreciate your resilience, because yes, these things have happened to you. Yes, you are struggling, but, you are really working hard to get it together.
Eventually, it will come together, it will work out, but everybody needs to start.
Yes.
You can't sit around and think that, it's going to happen, I'm going to have it, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do, if you're not going to put in the work. You have to put in the work. The sleepless nights.
Yes.
In there. The late nights, the heavy days, the crazy days, all of that comes together. And, being glamorous on social media doesn't mean that nobody has no problems. We all do.
We do.
But, it's how you carry it, because you can't let your problem rule you. You can't show the world your problems. You are not your problems. You are not your problem. I'm going to make sure that I wake up, I take a shower, I get dressed, and I look pretty. Even though I am going through the heaviness, I'm still going to look the part, because that's me. I'm not going to go crazy. I mean, there are groggy days. I look crazy and I have my mask on Facebook, because that's me. That's like, generally that's me. But other people, they shouldn't close up. They shouldn't.
Wow. Well, I just want to go now to the last parting words. Anything that I have not asked you and that you feel that I must talk about this?
The one thing that I probably will want to talk about will be how people try to limit themselves. I would want nobody not to limit themselves. It's a big world out there. Anything is possible for everyone, for anyone. You can sell ilekese, it's fine.
It's fine. Start some way.
That's all there is
and this world is big enough for all of us.
We can all have Mzansi made news, but don't take my name. But don't take that name. Don't take that name. But we can all have ventures. We can all have the same ventures. We cannot, because we all carry to different people. We all cater to different clientele. Not everyone has the same people. You know what I mean? It doesn't also matter, even if that person buys from Umuki, buys from Thumeka, buys from Evoke, buys from Rare.
Exactly.
We are all out there, we're doing our thing, but everyone can do it. We can all do it. It's not easy, but we can all do it. Just try, start,
try. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Thumeka. It was wonderful to have a conversation with you.
Thank you, my queen.
Until next time, bye-bye.